If the police saw that, they would have made a report. Yeah, like absolutely, they would have made a report for that.
Okay.
There's no
Thank you,
way.
Your Honor. And I would also like the record to reflect that we're publishing this to the jury.
Yes, no objection, correct?
Okay.
Yes. There we go.
Okay. I would like the record to reflect that this was the photo that was shown to Officer Sines and Officer Haddon.
Objection, Your Honor.
That
is
Your Honor, we couldn't put him in
inappropriate, Your Honor.
because we hadn't identified him. Now the jury should be entitled to know which photo
Your Honor,
was
we ask
shown
that we
as
approach-
that
Okay,
exhibit.
we can approach.
Oh, here we go. Now they're getting mad. All right, let's go. Zero swallowing. Like, I don't know, man. Like, the thing is, like, if I did, like, this a lot to my face, right, or whatever, like, I guess, like, her eye, like, maybe, like, right here, it's a little bit swollen. Like, it's really hard to say. Yeah, I don't know. It looks a bit swollen. Yeah, it does look a bit swollen. To me, it does.
For the record, this particular photo was shown to Officer Sines and Officer Haddon as
Okay.
Exhibit 24 in both of the depositions that were shown earlier where the pictures were not allowed to be shown yet because they hadn't been admitted. Amber, will you please describe for the jury what is depicted in this photo?
Yes, that's a picture of my face taken that evening, shortly before 9:30, after Johnny hit me with the phone.
Okay. Now we can take this one down and let's go to Defendant's Exhibit 709.
Okay.
And based on the court's ruling, I'm going to ask if you
I
can
don't-
redact that, Michelle.
I don't know.
please.
Nice makeup. It's like the swelling above the eye was the only thing that I would think maybe that's a thing. But like I'd have to see like a comparison and really look at it thoroughly.
Remove the admission of 709.
All right, any objection?
Not with retractions, thank you.
709 with redactions and evidence, you can publish.
If it could be published to the jury, Your Honor. Thank
It
you.
is.
And Your Honor, for the record, this is the photo that was shown to Officer Sines and to Officer Haddon as Exhibit 25 for both of their depositions.
Okay.
Amber, could you please describe for the jury what's depicted here?
That is my face after
Okay.
after the phone incident. It's that night.
All right, let's bring Defendant 710, please.
All right. So we've seen a number of pictures of this. But why did the cops not report this then? Why did the police officer not report it? I don't understand.
And Your Honor, I'm going to move the admission of Exhibit 710. The redactions have been already placed on it.
Any objection?
No objection, thank you.
Like, it makes no sense to me.
If we could publish, Your Honor. And for the record, this photo was shown to Officer Sines and Officer Haddon. It was Exhibit 26 for both of their depositions. And please describe for the jury what's depicted here, Amber.
That is my face in yet a different light that same evening after Johnny hit me with the phone.
Okay.
I mean, her other side of her face is a little bit red too.
711.
But I mean, I don't know. Are they arguing that the officers lied and not spoke about those pictures? I think that's what they're trying to say, yeah. I mean, pretty much. Which is wild, man. Absolutely fucking
And I'm
wild.
going to move the admission of 711, Your Honor, with the redactions.
All right, any objection?
No objection.
All right, 711 with redactions and evidence, publish.
And for the record, Your
Okay,
Honor,
here we go.
for the jury's purposes, this was shown to Officer Sines and Officer Haddon as Exhibit 27 to both of their depositions. And could you describe what's depicted here, Amber?
Yes, that is another angle, another lighting of my face after the phone
Okay. And
that
when,
evening.
And when you say angular lighting, what did Rocky do in taking these pictures?
Objection calls for speculation.
I said, what'd she do?
So overrule.
Thank you.
Raquel
Google image Botox
took
bruise?
pictures of my face in various places around the penthouse.
I'll look at
penthouse.
something else.
The
Let me see
apartments have really different lighting, you know, really dark in some places, Anyway, so we just took pictures in different lighting so that we had an accurate portrayal and depiction of what had happened.
And why did you take the pictures?
Raquel did it to protect me because the cops were coming, and we knew that the
Wait,
police.
so she took these
I think
before
at
the
this point
cops
that
came?
They were already here. They were with us, but we weren't. Maybe this was right before. I'm not quite sure without seeing the timestamp, but we weren't sure what was going to happen, what the police were going to say, what they were going to do. We didn't know what Johnny was going to do, what he was going to say, so she wanted to protect me.
Okay.
Uh-huh,
So,
sure.
Let's go ahead and bring up 712.
Bro. Like, oh, look, I'm going to show y'all something.
All right, now move the admission of 712, Your Honor.
All right, any objection?
No, thank you, Your
All
Honor.
right, 712 with redactions, you can publish.
That's whenever I hit my head.
And please describe.
Literally like
What's
3
depicted
seconds after. 3 fucking
That
seconds
is,
after I hit my head. Remember
Another
that?
picture of my face,
Okay.
taken around the same time.
Okay.
You remember
And then
that?
let's go to 713.
That shit swole up. Look how bad that is. That's within 30 seconds. Bro, like,
Move the admission of 713, Your Honor.
she got hit by a Nokia? Oh,
No objection.
All right, 713 with redactions.
She'd be dead.
You can publish.
And for the record, this one was shown to Officer Sines and Officer Haddon as well as Exhibit 29 to both of their depositions. And just describe briefly to the jury what this is.
This is another picture of
Bad
my
lighting.
face
You shouldn't have
taken
submitted
at the
this one. It
exact
makes it
same
look
time
fake.
and in the same location as the other one, just with one of the lights turned on, or an additional light turned
Look
on
at that.
in the previous one.
look at that.
Okay. Let's go to 714.
Right there. Immediately it happened. Immediately, bro.
Move the admission of 714, Your Honor.
No objection.
All right, 714 with redactions. You can publish.
And please tell the jury what this depicts.
This is another angle of my face or another picture of my face taken at a different time. I don't know if this is later or before because I can't see the time on it.
Okay. You can take that down. Let's go to 715.
Okay. This is scratch. I mean, bro, like. As it looks different every time. Well, it could be a different time period, right? Because she said she took them before,
I'm gonna
during,
move the
and
admission
after
of 715, Your Honor.
the police.
No objection.
All right, 715 with redactions in evidence. You can publish.
Thank you. And for the record, this one was shown to Officer Sines and Officer Haddon as Exhibit 17 for both.
Okay.
Please describe for the jury what's depicted here.
That is a picture of my face. Some point later on in the night, it looks like that was taken in Rocky's apartment or in the apartment that she was staying in.
Okay.
Okay. And let's go to 716.
Why would someone keep taking pictures randomly unless they're trying to prove a lie? Well, because they were trying to get evidence. I think that's fair.
716.
I just happened to a friend of mine. That's what I did.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right.
Yeah, that's
716
fair. That
evidence
part's
as
fair.
redacted.
And Emma, could you please tell the jury what this picture depicts?
This is the
Yes,
business
it's
card.
the business card that one of the police officers left for me in case I changed my mind. and
Remember,
wanted
this
to
is the one that
comment.
talked about it.
And with the pictures that we have just seen before this, were they taken before the pictures of the police card, the card that was left after, or do you know?
I
Objection,
think-
compound.
It's not.
And calls for
Your Honor,
speculation.
compound is only.
Overruled.
Thank you.
We took pictures before, during, and after.
And the question I had for you is the pictures you've seen so far, were those taken before at the time
Probably
of
all of
this-
the above, right?
Before this card was presented to you and you took the picture, after, or do you know?
Some of them were, but without seeing all the timestamps, I can't tell exactly.
Okay, that's fair. Thank you.
Yeah, it was probably all
Okay,
during
and then I'm
because of
gonna
different
ask you to
lighting.
take this one down and go to 717.
So the cops saw this and they gave you a business card. Uh-huh. Yeah. That must be what it was. Without seeing timestamp? Yeah, exactly. Seems I can tell you trauma of the body's instant response means swelling happens almost right away.
717, Your
Yeah.
Honor.
Any objection?
No
All
objection.
right, 717 is redacted in evidence. Published.
Thank you. And please just briefly describe to the jury what this is.
The two officers that first responded left me that card. This is the front of the business card they left.
Can you tell the jury, just explain what the interaction was that you had with the police officers, just describing what you observed as they came through?
I did not want to speak to them. I asked that Raquel's partner or husband ask them to go away.
Can't the
without
cops
speaking to me.
just have caller
And
ID?
just so the jury understands.
to see who
was
called?
Who was Raquel's fiance at that time?
The fuck?
His name is Josh Drew, and he and Raquel lived in the apartment at Johnny's invitation across the hall from us. Raquel had keys. We kind of shared keys. It was
Refuse report?
they were
Yeah.
our neighbors, but had keys to our house.
Okay. So why didn't you want to
The
cooperate?
person
with the
demanded they
police?
were anonymous. I see. Very convenient.
Because I wanted
think you
to
should-
protect Johnny. I didn't want him to be arrested.
Oh my god.
I didn't want him to be in trouble. I didn't want the world to know. I didn't want this to come out. I didn't want him to be in trouble. I didn't want this to be
She's looking out for him, guys. She's trying to help
protect
him.
Johnny.
Let's go to Defendant's Exhibit 1374.
Oh my god. She wanted to protect him. Yeah, it's just like, are you fucking kidding me, man?
That's 1374.
Lawyers provide too many details whenever they tell the stories and it's clear your case. Like with the socks on, yeah.
All right.
3 911 calls in total.
Thank you.
Oh my
Move the
god.
admission of 1374A, Your Honor.
She didn't cooperate because the lawyer told her so?
No objection.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
1374A in evidence, sorry.
Thank you, Your Honor. And Amber, what is this?
It's another picture of my face after Johnny threw the phone at it.
Okay. And then let's go to 1493T.
Okay. Let's see it again. Here we go. Let's get it.
And move the admission of 1493T.
No objection.
All right, 1493T in evidence.
And what does this depict?
This is a picture of my face after that incident. Perhaps by the lighting, it looks like it might have been taken the next day, but I can't tell for sure.
Okay. And then let's go to 1493S.
Okay. What are we looking at? There's a little bit of brown, like right here, but I don't know.
And move the admission of 1493S.
If anything, it was probably the next
No
day.
objection.
All right, 1493S in evidence. Published.
And what does this depict?
And this is another picture of my eye and side of my face.
How
Now,
do professional actors
Were
not
there
take better
also pictures
pictures?
taken of the property that you described, Mr. Depp,
Like,
destroying or damaging?
Yes, there were.
Okay. Michelle, can you bring up Defendant's Exhibit 700?
I don't know. It's like,
Based on Your Honor's rulings, we will take off the metadata.
why, wait, why would they withhold the metadata? What?
Move the admission
How's
of
it even
defendant's
fair?
exhibit 700.
No objection with redaction.
700 with redactions, you can publish.
It can be
Please
manipulated?
describe for the jury
Okay.
what's depicted in this photo.
Yes, my friend was preparing for a bead show and had displays to show these bead necklaces she made.
Okay.
And she needed some counter space in order to kind of set up the displays that she was going to use
Got
the
it.
next day.
Makes sense.
So she asked me earlier in the day if she could use the free counter space in that penthouse, penthouse 5, to kind of set up those display racks. They were set up in that room when Johnny went in there to destroy things, as he does.
As he does.
And
That's
this
good.
depicts
That's
some
good.
of that
Adding
damage.
that in right
Yeah,
at the end.
he-
As he
Security
does.
let him in, even though I had asked
Objection,
her
Your
not
Honor.
to.
Speculation
I don't think that was speculation.
and lack of foundation.
Oh my God.
Oh, I'll sustain as a foundation if you want.
Okay. So
Hiding mad data, so Amber has to rely on her own
what's
account to
depicted and
qualify.
what's the
Makes
damage that
sense.
was done?
Well, because Johnny would always smash up my things and destroy my property when he was mad at me.
Yep.
I had asked that they not
Normal
let him
behavior
in
of the Elden
so
Lord.
that he could do that. I mean, the only purpose for him to be let into Penthouse 5 in that state, he doesn't have property in there. The only reason for him to go in there would be to destroy it, and they, of course, let him into Penthouse 5
Objection, Your
so
Honor.
that he could go.
Yes, ma'am.
Lack of foundation.
All right, I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
Just tell the jury what he did here that's depicted in this.
This is just a one corner of the room that shows the destruction. He just went in there with this bottle swinging and
It just looks like
smashed
something
them.
fell down.
Objection, Your Honor. This is speculation.
Like,
It hasn't
really,
established
like-
that she was there.
Like, my couch has more
I'll
shit on
sustain
it
for
than
my
that.
foundation. It's fine.
Okay.
This is
Did
not,
anybody
yeah,
else
such
here not go in there and do
devastation.
this?
Objection, Your Honor. Calls for speculation.
Trying to lay the
Devastation.
foundation here, Your Honor.
I'll sustain the objection. Next
Well,
question.
let's do this.
Oh my
Never
God.
mind. We'll let somebody else tell who did it. Okay.
What a bunch of horse shit.
Just all I'm asking here is what is the damage? What has been done that's depicted here?
This is just one of
Something
Raquel's
fell
bead racks
down.
that he
Objection, Your Honor. Speculation.
I'll sustain the
All right.
objection.
Let's go to 701.
Okay. Just whisper something to him? Oh my God. No proof? Yeah.
Move the admission of 701.
I think the fact
with
that they're still
redaction, no
smiling
objection.
through all of this, it
701
kind of
redactions
goes
and
to
evidence.
show how they feel about it, you know?
Thank you. Amber, can you please describe what's depicted here?
yeah, it is our bedroom in penthouse 3, the main penthouse. Looks like he was just throwing things.
Objection, Your Honor. Calls for
Sustain
speculation.
the objection.
So just describe what you see here as opposed to what you say he did. Can
I see a
you-
bunch of art tossed on the bed.
Okay, where was
Okay.
that art before Mr. Depp was at your house on May 21, 2016?
Oh my God.
Hanging on the wall where it belongs.
Okay.
Oh my
Go
God.
to, Michelle, can you bring up defendant 702, please?
Oh my God. He did that. He did that. Oh my God. Lock him up. I like he perfectly stacked them to where like the wood wasn't hitting the
Oh, Your Honor,
glass
I
in the
forgot
middle.
on the last two.
perfectly
For
on top of
defendant's
each other,
exhibit
on the bed.
700, that was shown
He's
to
just
Officer
throwing
Sines
it
and
in
Haddon.
such
It was exhibit
devastation.
39 to both of theirs, and exhibit 701 was shown to Haddon only, and that was exhibit 30 in his deposition. I move the admission of 702, please.
All right, any objection?
No objection.
All right, 702 with redactions.
Thank you, Your Honor. And let the record reflect this was also shown to Officer Haddon as deposition exhibit number 40. And can you
What
please
is
describe
this?
for the jury what's depicted here?
Yes, it is broken glass from one of the broken pictures that were hanging on the wall.
And where is
Okay.
this physically?
This is in penthouse 5 on the stairwell.
The broken pictures that were
Michelle,
perfectly
can you bring
stacked
up
on top of
defendant
each other.
703, please?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe? Yeah, it's like, where's the broken picture?
Move the admission of defendant 703.
Remember, the cops
No
walked through the whole
concern.
penthouse and saw no
Redactions,
destruction.
publish.
Yep, the cops
Thank you,
went
Your
through the
Honor.
whole
And
area.
let the record reflect that this was shown to Officer Sines and Officer Haddon as Exhibit 41 for both of their depositions. And Amber, please describe for the jury what's depicted here.
Yep.
It's another photograph of this stairwell.
There's a little bit right
in
there,
the same apartment,
down at
penthouse
the bottom
5,
there.
which is the apartment where I kept my things.
Y'all see that?
Okay. And is that glass on the stairway?
Yes, from one of the broken picture frames on the wall. We had a lot of picture. I had a lot of picture frames on the.
How the fuck did it get on the
walls.
stairway?
And many, if not most of them, were smashed.
Okay. Let's take this
But
one
we
down
didn't-
and go
but
to 704.
Why were they
please,
all
defendants.
perfectly stacked on the bed then?
Thank you.
What the hell what the fuck? What in the fuck?
Move the admission of defendant 704.
Where's the picture of the broken pictures?
objection.
Nobody
All right,
knows.
704 with redactions. Publish.
Thank you, and let the record reflect that this was shown to both Officer
Is it live?
Sines
Yeah, it's
and
live.
Haddon as Exhibit 34 to both their depositions.
It's live.
And Amber, please describe for the jury what's depicted here.
Just another piece of glass. It looks like the base of a wine glass. That is in penthouse 3, the main apartment.
And when you
Okay.
say wine glass, did you see this particular glass?
There were glasses in the kitchen, and always. And
Cops
when
never
Johnny
saw
was
any of
walking
this.
out,
Yep.
I saw him myself.
And they
swinging
did a
the
thorough
magnum-sized
investigation
bottle,
around. Yep.
And I could hear glass breaking and things falling.
Okay. Thank you. Michelle, can you bring up 705, please?
Okay, let's see it again. At least now we have evidence. I'm glad that we have pictures that we can look at, not just her story. This is more interesting. Okay, here we go. Let's see it.
Move the admission of 705.
No redaction. No, excuse me, no objection.
Okay, let's go.
And let the
705 in evidence. with
Thank you,
redactions.
Your Honor.
Thank you. Go ahead.
And let the record reflect this was shown to Officer Haddon and Exhibit 36 of
Something
his
fell down,
deposition.
okay.
Amber, can you please describe for the jury what's portrayed here?
Things knocked over on the kitchen countertop, and I see pieces of broken glass on the countertop as well.
It's hard to really see that. I'm not
Let's go to
sure.
707.
Because that one thing, that the lid, it was a lid. It was like one of those jar lids that you open it and like it has like the fucking like a vacuum seal in it. My cat did that once? Yeah. It's just like... I don't know why it just randomly went mute. I have no idea. But it's just like... It's so weird. My cat, they did it to the cat? Yeah. I feel like none of these images, like the one, what I find to be kind of like compelling is like that her
Jury,
eye
what's depicted
was
here?
like swollen a little bit, like right
This
here.
is the hallway leading out.
But I don't know what it
leading
looks like
up to
normally.
the apartments.
I have to see it.
So this is the hallway that connects all of the apartments. It's kind of an indoor-outdoor
Yeah, same true. Yeah,
sort
not
of
the bottom.
hallway,
The bottom,
meaning it's
that
covered,
could
but
be anything.
it's exposed on the far ends of both.
My carpet looks like
to
that.
the elements. So this is not
I mean,
carpet. It's like a plasticky.
Okay.
I don't know how to describe the material. It's like a plasticky kind of netting, not netting. It's difficult to describe, but it's a kind of an outdoor sort of carpet.
All right, and what's depicted there?
Wine on the floor and a little on the wall, it seems.
Okay.
Let's go to 718, please.
Yeah, that's the poop. No, it's not the poop. That's not the poop. And like, yeah, can't
the
we get
admission
back
of
to the poop
718?
thing?
No objection.
All right, 718 with redactions.
Yeah, I want to know what happened with
And let
that.
the record reflect this was shown to Officer Sines and Officer Haddon in Deposition Exhibit 31 for both of them.
Oh my god.
Amber, please describe for the jury what's depicted here.
It's another photograph on the floor, not the wall.
my God.
This one appears to be remarkably unbroken.
Okay. Let's go to 719, please.
Holy shit, bro! Like, wow. There's a picture on the floor. How would it even get there? It's not even near a wall.
Move the admission of defendant 719.
No objection.
All right,
Remarkably,
719
yeah,
with
it's
redactions.
just, it's incredible.
Thank you, Your
Remarkably
Honor.
unbroken,
And let
yeah.
the record reflect that this
It was the
shown
other
to
ones that
Officer
got
Sines
broken.
and Haddon in their depositions, Exhibit 35 to both. And Amber, please
One
just
red
describe
ball,
for the
thanks for
jury
five
what's
subs,
depicted
thank you.
here.
Okay.
It's one corner of the kitchen in penthouse 3. Looks like one of the things that was knocked off of the kitchen island when Johnny
It's like a
left.
bananas and shit. Okay.
Let's go to defendant 720, please.
Threw down the fruit basket. Yeah, he threw the fruit basket on the ground. He said, fuck that shit. I ain't got time for that shit. Yeah, that's right. Lock him up.
Move the admission of defendant 720.
No
All
objection.
right, 720 with redactions.
And let the
evidence.
record
Okay.
reflect, Your Honor, this was shown to Officer Sines and Haddon, deposition Exhibit 43 to both. Amber,
right.
could you please describe to the jury what's depicted here?
That's my office. It's a corner of my office. And
Tell me,
that
you're a movie
is,
star. You sit in that chair.
a box
Oh.
of like sentimental things from my childhood or things that are important to me. Keepsake box that has been dumped out. It looks like.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's go to defendant 721.
Let's see. Farmer chair? Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, it's just dumped out. What does that even mean? I mean, obviously,
Move the
like, it
admission
could have
of
been
defendant
pushed off.
721.
No objection, Your Honor.
721 with redactions, published.
Thank
With
you,
the
Your
House
Honor,
in favor?
and let the record reflect this
All
was
I'm
shown to
saying
Officer
is that
Sines
this
and
chair
Haddon
is
in
awful.
deposition Exhibit 44
Imagine
for
sitting
both.
in this chair.
Amber, please describe for the jury what this depicts.
It's again my office. Different, same thing, different angle.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Let's go to 722.
Like, I would never want to sit in a chair like that. Why they rejected metadata? I'll talk about whenever we get a pause, but people say it's so she would have to remember it on her own without the
Move the admission of defendant
without the
Exhibit
prompt
722.
from the metadata
No
for whenever
objection,
it
Your Honor.
All right,
happened.
722 with redactions and evidence. Thank you.
I'm
And
not
let the
sure,
record
though.
reflect this was shown to Officer Sines and Officer Haddon as deposition Exhibit 42 to both.
Okay.
Amber, please describe to the jury what's depicted here.
That's a picture of my friends and I
It's
when we were
cracked.
at that
You guys can
London
see?
house.
It's clearly fucked
Yeah,
up.
Johnny punched.
You saw him punch this?
I heard it.
Okay. All right, let's go to 723, please.
Okay. What a reach? I don't know. I mean, like, that's a
Admission of
broken
defendant
picture.
723.
Sure.
Any objection?
No objection.
All right, 723 redacted in evidence.
The
Let
cops,
the record
the
reflect
cops
this was
saw
shown to
this,
Officer
didn't
Sines
they?
and Haddon in their depositions, Exhibit 38 for both. Amber, please describe for the jury what's reflected.
One of the, it looks like a Magnum bottle of wine that is
Oh, this is the mega bottle.
empty or spilled on the floor.
Can you tell where that is located?
Looks like it would be penthouse 5.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's go to 724.
Completely intact, no spillage. Well, there's a little bit of it. It was probably empty at the beginning. Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Move the
like,
admission of defendant 724.
it's just...
No objection.
All right, 724 with redactions. Thank you.
And let the record reflect this was shown to Officer Sines and Haddon as their deposition Exhibits 33. Amber, please tell the
There's
jury
wine
what's
on the
depicted
floor.
This is more wine that Johnny was spilling as he was using the bottle he was holding as a bat of sorts.
Also, wait, so Johnny
here.
did this.
725?
Johnny did this. And so wouldn't he be in charge from, like, escaping a crime scene?
We're almost done.
If they had
Two
found something?
Promise.
Yeah, isn't that like, yeah, running away from like a crime scene?
Move the admission of defendant 725.
No
All
objection.
right, 725.
No,
for
maybe.
redactions.
Let the record reflect this was shown to
Maybe
Officer Sines and Haddon.
it was his
as
property?
deposition exhibit 37 to their depositions. Amber, please tell the jury what's
Let me,
depicted here.
I'll explain what I mean whenever,
More
whenever we get
spilled wine on the
pause.
floor. This looks like penthouse 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the last but not least, Michelle, please, defendants 726.
He owns the place. It's a crime. Well, I'll explain afterwards. Like, I'll explain. Okay.
Move the admission of.
No crime happened? Well, what the implication is. Do you
No
see what I'm saying?
objection.
Okay.
The implication
Your Honor, I
is not
believe
only did he assault her,
jury
but he ran away from the
needs a
scene of the
tissue.
crime.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Do you see what I'm getting at?
We will get a tissue. You got some?
Yeah, it's the
Thank you,
implication of what it is. I know that.
All right,
I
no
know
objection,
that.
726 with redactions. Thank you.
All right, and let the record reflect that this one was shown to Officer Hines and Haddon as deposition
Okay.
32 exhibit to their
There's some,
depositions.
I guess, like,
and Amber, please just
fluid on the
describe to the
floor.
jury what's depicted here.
More spilled wine on the floor. Penthouse 3 appears.
Okay, thank you. Now,
Determined no crime based
when
on
the
his
police
property. There's no
officers
crime.
were
Yeah, I know that.
there,
I'm looking at it
did
from her
either
perspective.
of them
You
take
see
you
what I'm saying?
aside by yourself and talk with you?
Yes.
Which one, or both?
The male officer I did not have much interaction with. The female officer said she needed to speak to me by myself, pulled me aside. We went into penthouse 3, the main penthouse.
This is the one we talked to.
To speak
I think.
there. Because I had been in penthouse 1, Raquel and Josh's apartment up until that moment.
Okay, and then what, if anything, did she ask you?
She asked me if I would make a statement, if I would cooperate. She kind of indicated to me, I don't remember if it was what word she said, but she kind of gestured to my face and.
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
I think she could, if she
She
gestured
gestured
into her
towards
face,
your
it's not hearsay,
face.
it's not a
sustain.
statement.
I'll
But
sustain
not
objection
enough
next
to
time.
write it
And
down.
it's also not offered to prove the truth of it.
I'll sustain
Okay.
objection.
So
So
she's
what happened
implying
next?
that the cop acknowledged the damage to her face.
Let's do this. How long were you with the officer when she took you aside?
A few minutes, if that.
Yeah, she's calling the cops a liar.
And
Yeah.
as a result,
The nurses
did
and the
you
cops are
cooperate?
liars.
No, I did not.
But she's telling the truth.
It was my understanding that I couldn't stop them from walking through the apartment, which is what they indicated to me.
Okay. And were you with them when they walked through the apartment?
No, Josh, I was with them at the beginning of Penthouse 3. Josh, Raquel's partner,
Everybody
took
is
over from
lying
there and
except for
showed
her.
them
That's right.
around the house.
You didn't know that?
Up
Yeah.
through Penthouse 3,
That's how it
which
works.
connects on the top floor to the neighboring apartment, Penthouse 4, and then on to Penthouse 5. They all connect on the
Your
top
cops
level.
are liars.
So Josh
Not
walked
when it doesn't benefit them.
the officers through the house.
Okay. And what, if anything, did you say about the identity of Mr. Depp?
Nothing.
Were you asked,
Yes.
but you refused to tell them?
Objection, leading.
Sustain.
Okay. Why did you refuse to tell the police officers Mr. Depp's identity?
Because she talked to the
Because I did
the
not
lawyer.
want them to arrest Johnny. I did not want this to happen. I did not want any of this to happen. I didn't want to get him in trouble.
Uh-huh.
So I said, well, I can't. I just refused to cooperate.
Okay. Now, approximately how long were the police officers there?
I don't recall exactly. Maybe
Then why was she collecting evidence?
I'd
No,
say less
this
than
part
half
of
an
it
hour.
makes sense.
I really don't know exactly.
I
but
can
they
explain it whenever
weren't
we're on
there very
break.
long at all.
Okay. Now, After the police officers left, what did you do?
We cleaned up a bit because there was broken glass and we had dogs. So we tried to clean up the mess, and especially the glass. And Josh, Rocky, Liz, and I, we kind of just
Johnny hates
cleaned up and
dogs.
eventually
Feeds him weed,
sat
holds
on
him out the
couch,
window.
and they just tried to comfort
He wants
me.
him to walk on glass. He does
What,
that
if
to
any knowledge
dogs,
did you
man.
have that there was going to be a second
What the
set of
fuck?
officers coming later that night?
I didn't know about that.
God.
That surprised me.
When did you learn that a second set of officers were coming to the penthouse that night?
That's
I
brutal.
think I learned about it when they were there, when they arrived.
Uh-huh.
And we've seen the body-worn video on that. Is there anything that you recall outside of what was reflected on Officer Gateland's body-worn video?
I couldn't see much of what was on that video. I just, I remember being surprised that they were there, not really knowing why they were there. I assumed it was because I was encouraged to make a statement by the first set of officers.
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
All right,
Just
keep
state
going
the objection.
forward. Okay.
And I was sitting on the couch. It was sometime hours, maybe between an hour, 2 hours, maybe more. I don't really recall, but we had cleaned up and we were resting, and they were comforting me when they came. And
How nice.
they didn't seem to. They didn't do what the first set of officers did. They just kind of came into the apartment, confirmed that that I was okay, or that we were okay. They didn't really seem to be that concerned, and they didn't demand to do a walkthrough like the first set of officers had, and they left.
Okay. And what, if any, cooperation did you give them?
Well, I didn't need to. I didn't really cooperate with them. I didn't talk to them. I didn't even get up off the couch. I was speaking to them from a quite a bit of a distance, like between you and I, and maybe more. And I didn't really say anything. I just kind of acknowledged that they entered, and that was it.
Okay.
Did you provide them with Mr. Depp's name?
No way.
Did they ask?
No.
Okay. All right. I'm going to take you to
They didn't
the
ask?
next day.
Wait, what?
May 22. And I'm going to, Michelle, can you bring up Defendant's Exhibit 772?
The cops
What, if
didn't
any,
ask
efforts
the
did
name.
Mr. Depp make to reach out to you the day after this happened?
Well,
So his second visit, probably?
made
Maybe.
several efforts. Immediately, he kind of reached out and lashed out.
Okay, here we go.
Again, kind of going on what seems to be slightly delusional, thinking that just because he saw my friend's beads out on the countertop, that it had become a workshop or a studio for her. So he seemed angry about, this perception that this bead display that my friend had set up was evidence of her running some sort of workshop. And he also accused us of having, or me, of having invited someone else to live there who wasn't
fuck are
living
you talking
there,
about? Yeah.
who was just in the
The
apartment
hell is this?
when Johnny stormed in. So he just kind of lashed out, and then the tone changed in the days that followed.
And let me stop you there. So I'm going to ask you to take a look at Defendant's Exhibit 772. And is this a text message from Mr. Depp to you?
Yes, it is.
And it's on 5/22 at 12:23 a.m. So it's early morning hours after 5/21. Would that be fair?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'm going to move the admission of Defendant 772.
No objection.
All right, 772 in evidence with the identifiers redacted and published. Thank you.
I don't know,
Thank you,
man.
All right. And
Trying to have cops wouldn't
I know you
recognize her or see
started
Johnny Depp's
to
pictures
talk
throughout the
about
house.
this, Amber.
I don't know.
But it says,
Okay.
I'm an idiot. PH5 is Rocky's studio. You are shameless. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay. Was that what you were talking about with him thinking?
You were already ready to
Yes.
strike. What about that?
And then obviously, we can read that he says, I tried to make it work. You just turned more and more into a spoiled brat. All you wanted was to make me fucking miserable. Well, I'm finally there. I'll never be able to understand how I fell in love with you.
Damn.
You're not her. I loved you more than anything. I did everything that I could, but you never fucking loved me. I was merely convenient for you. I
Oh
hope
my
our divorce
God.
goes as quickly as possible and that it is as painless as possible. So sorry you were as unhappy with me as you were. Obviously, the purity of whatever was has been gone for a long time. I will miss the moments of beauty and truth. Goodbye, Amber. What the fuck was I thinking? I wish you all
Yeah.
merit. All you merit. The former him. What, if any, discussions did you have with
What
Mr.
the fuck
Depp
was
about
I thinking?
divorce that night?
That is a good question.
We
And remember,
did
this
not,
is right after she shit in
have
his
a
bed.
discussion about that that evening. We didn't have time. He was obsessed with dog poop.
Okay.
That's what he wanted to talk
Dog poop. Oh.
All right, let's take this down and let's go to
'Cause he's so
Defendant's Exhibit
crazy.
773.
Yeah. Dog poop. That's what it was. Yeah, I thought so. I think that her shitting
Now,
in his bed,
this is a text
that was the
exchange
end.
between you and Mr. Depp.
Okay, here we go.
It starts with Mr. Depp on 5/21 at 6:58 p.m. just saying here. Does that refresh your recollection of when he arrived at your penthouse on May 21?
Post
Yes.
shit clarity. Yep, there we go.
And then the next series are on 5/22. They start at 5:13.
Conveniently for yeah, didn't mention that you were
And
ready to strike
You're
part.
discussing
Yeah,
talking. You said, sorry, I'm just leaving Amanda's birthday now. Do you see that?
yeah.
Yes, I do.
All right. And then he responds to that, correct?
Yes.
All right,
So
Your
the
Honor, I'd like to
expression,
move
"shit
the
the bed
admission of
comes from"?
defendant
Yeah.
773.
Your Honor, if we could just have a minute to review this exhibit.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it just this page?
No, there's
3 pages.
3 pages.
I'm just reading Michelle's hands.
Oh my god. Like it's just a dog expert to examine it. Yeah, exactly. Like dog poop. Yeah, she just said, "Bitch, me blaming the dog. I can't believe it." Really? I mean, she says the cops are lying. The psychologist is not lying. Is not telling the truth. Because remember, whenever she said she didn't have an eating disorder, and then even her like the super feminist person literally said that she thought that Amber Heard had a eating disorder, or she like implied it very strongly. I forgot exactly what the language that she
Objection,
used
Your
was.
Honor.
All right, 773.
Yeah, everybody
and
is
evidence
lying
with
except for
identifiers
her.
redacted. Thank you.
Where's the dog here?
Thank you.
Let's put the dog on the stand. Oh, here we go.
If we could.
Zoom out.
Okay, we've got it published to the jury. So let's go to the top, Michelle. And
Okay.
So it starts out with him. This is the 5/21, 6:58 p.m. saying
Yeah.
he's there, correct?
Yeah, but I think he came in later than that. Took him some time.
Okay. And then if we move up, the next one is you at 5:22
Yeah.
at 5:13 p.m., correct?
Yes.
And then you say, thank you, and then can we still speak in a min? What do you recall of why you sent those texts?
I believe we had spoken on the phone. Or that I can't control this, correct? The screen. I don't know.
We
what
can give you control, yes. Maybe we should do that and clear out my purples.
I
Okay.
just don't know what was sent right before this.
Go ahead. Your Honor, can
Well,
we
she can't
give?
scroll. She's asking to scroll.
Okay, Michelle, let's have you scroll if you can.
Okay.
Just go ahead and scroll through just slowly so she can read the whole thing.
Of course. That's Johnny Depp saying. Okay.
Okay, that makes sense.
I want you happy. I have zero harsh feelings. They're so dramatic. Yeah, procedurally generated story. It's just like, I look at this, it's just buying time to make up the story. I don't know. I'm just trying to look and see for myself. Why are her chats cut out? I don't know. Something gets submitted into evidence. It's something the jury sees that influences, that can influence their perspective on the case.
All right,
That's what it
does that
means.
help refresh your recollection?
Yes, I believe that.
They skipped the message, him saying where he was scared.
He had apologized
Yeah, of course.
to me after the phone incident. I had commitments that I had to attend the following day on the 22nd. So the beach show I referenced, I mentioned to you, I had to go to. I also had to bring a cake to a friend's birthday party. So I had things I unfortunately had to do that day. And
Yeah.
I remember there was communication with Johnny, both by phone and by text, where he was telling me that he was clean, that he was sober, he was clear mind, it wasn't the monster, and that he was so sorry. But I had already committed to filing for divorce, and eventually I have to let him know that it's not just saying it in the anger, in the fights that like we had done, you know, both he and I did that.
Okay.
At times in some of our fights, especially towards the end of our relationship. And so I let him know that I was serious about filing this time, and that I had had enough.
Best start believing in fabricated
Objection, Your Honor,
stories. You're in one.
Okay.
Overruled, go ahead.
All right, I'm going to draw your attention to the bottom of the page, Defendant's
Okay,
Exhibit
let's see it.
773. And this is at 5:22, so this is 6:19 p.m. Do you see that? 5:22? And he says, just let me know when you have a minute, and I'll give you a call. Nothing I have to say. You should elicit anything but a sense of ease. Do you see that?
Yes.
And then he says, all my love and profound apology.
Because what he means is
What
he's
was he
sorry for
apologizing
beating the
for?
shit out of
Calls for
you, right?
speculation.
What was your
That's
understanding
obviously
of
what he
was
means.
apologizing for?
Speculation, Your Honor.
Duh!
Sustain the objection.
Okay, in his
That's
phone
why you
call with
emphasized
did he
it.
tell you what he was apologizing for?
Yes.
Oh
What did
my
he say?
God! How
was sorry that-
disingenuous!
He reacted the way he did.
How
He
is that
said
not
he didn't mean
speculation?
to hurt me. He didn't mean to hurt me. If he really hurt me that bad, he's sorry. That he didn't mean to.
Oh, of course not.
Okay. Michelle, if we can go to the next page,
Oh my God!
up to the green, please.
I'm sad. I'm scared, and I'm broken.
And he says here, I'm sad, I'm scared, and I'm broken, my sweet Slim. And then he says, I want you happy. I have zero harsh feelings. I am clear and I am me. What did you understand him to mean by I am clear and I am me?
Probably
Objection, Your
sober.
Honor. Calls for speculation.
I'm assuming.
Do you
I
have
know
an
what he
understanding?
meant.
Okay.
But, Your Honor,
Did
there's
he
a
use that phrase with you?
I'll hold on. I'll sustain that objection.
I'm
You can
trying to
actually-
get to the
Yeah, I
next
know.
one here.
Then you can ask your next question. Go
Thank
ahead.
you. Did he use those phrases with you during your marriage?
Yes, he did.
What did Mr. Depp mean when he says I am clear and I am me?
objection. Calls for speculation.
I think I established the foundation.
Overruled. Go ahead.
Thank you.
That he had sobered up.
Yeah, of course.
That he had sobered up and he was not the monster again. That he was him.
Oh, I've heard
He
this
was the
before.
good guy I loved.
Yeah,
The one that I trusted.
that's good. Let's be emotional. Like, why are we emotional now? Like, what about whenever he like beat the shit out of you? Oh my God.
771, which is already
Okay,
been
let's see it.
admitted. Now, those text exchanges
Like-
were in the
Why is
6
she crying?
o'clock
I don't
to almost
know.
7 o'clock range. And here, it's
Okay.
5:22, it's now 8 o'clock, correct?
Yes.
And he's telling you, sorry if a bit, please know that my hurt towards you is over. My apologies are eternal and belong to you.
Okay.
Solid. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay. And was it your understanding he was apologizing again?
Objection, Your Honor. Calls for speculation.
All right, I'll sustain the objection.
You know it, I know it, everybody
Was there
knows it.
anything else he would have been apologizing for that he had done?
Objection calls for
I'll
speculation.
sustain the objection.
Okay. I'm going to give it to you? Like, yeah, what is that?
So tell the jury how you felt in that week,
Okay,
May
here we go.
22 through May 27, and what you decided to do.
At the time, it felt like the hardest thing I've ever had to do.
Uh-huh.
I had worked so hard to try to make this relationship work. I went to therapy and went to Al-Anon. I got help. I read books. I did everything I
Alcoholics
could possibly
Anonymous.
do, and it didn't work. And I was conflicted. To answer your question, I was conflicted. I knew after he threw the phone at my face that after all that month of not seeing each other, not getting better, not getting clean and sober, there wasn't even, I didn't, you know, it was falling apart. I knew I had to leave him. I knew I wouldn't survive it if I didn't. So I made the decision to
Wouldn't survive it. Oh, that's good.
file for divorce. It was hard because, you know, I loved Johnny so much. I loved him so much.
Did he just yawn? I thought,
And why
yeah,
did
I almost
you
yawned.
file
Like,
for divorce?
she's a survivor, guys. She
knew if
barely
I
made it
didn't-
out of this alive.
That I knew if I didn't, I'd likely not literally survive. I'm so scared that it was going to end really badly for me.
Uh-huh.
And I really didn't want to leave him. I loved him.
Pre-watched?
So
You know
much.
what people are going to say.
I would have done anything, but I couldn't do that one thing. I couldn't stay. The promise and the hope that I had become less and less regular and more rare. The monster had been this thing that was now the normal and not the exception. The violence was
The
now
beast has
normal
taken
and not
over.
the exception. And it was
This
so
is the beast. Yeah, that's right.
so hard. It was so hard, but I knew I had to do it. They would have, I believe he would have taken it too far. And I wouldn't be here.
Why did you ask for a domestic violence temporary restraining order?
I wanted to change my locks. I wanted to change my locks. I wanted a good night's sleep. Security would always let him into the house no matter what I asked them.
You've got to remember,
no matter
there's
when
more
I-
money on the
when I
line here
begged
than there
them to
was
let
on
me know when he
Aquaman.
was coming over,
So
no
it
matter
makes
how
sense
much
that
I
she's
begged him not
trying
to let him
harder.
in when he was mad or drunk or high. And I couldn't sleep. I'd wake up in a panic.
Yeah.
I was losing hair. I was losing weight. I got really sick. I had shingles. I couldn't sleep. I'd wake up in a panic attack. I had panic attacks all the time. I was falling apart.
Yeah.
I was scared
Yeah.
and very conflicted because the person I was scared of is also the person I was in love with. Really, really tricky. And I was thinking one step at a time. You know, I was thinking very myopically. I wanted just to get a good night rest, a good night's sleep. I just wanted to change my locks. I thought it'd be healthier if I got some sleep and I could think about what to do or how to handle this. If I just could sleep and
Just convince some dumb people. Only the
When
ones
I
that
did,
work
I
at
realized
newspapers.
that wasn't enough. That he could get in any way. That the building wasn't going to stop him from getting a locksmith and coming in. I knew that he would do what he wanted.
Objection, Your Honor, calls for speculation.
That's good.
It's not
Overruled.
offered to, thank you.
He can't be stopped.
Okay. So, did Mr. Depp show up for the hearing on the DVTRO?
No, he didn't.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And why did you show up?
Because I had to provide testimony for why I needed a restraining order.
You can't stop the elder.
What, if
law.
any, warning did you give Mr. Depp about obtaining the DVTRO?
We gave him warning. My counsel and his counsel were in communication, and we let them know. We had to. It was mandatory. It's my understanding of it. I'm not a lawyer.
Was there any confusion surrounding whether Mr. Depp was going to file suit as well?
Objection, Your Honor, calls for speculation.
I'm asking
Lack of
for-
foundation.
All right, I'll sustain as to
It's not even
foundation.
Horaloo yet? Yeah.
Did you have any confusion as to whether Mr. Depp was going to file as well?
I don't know.
So I filed for divorce on the 23rd, I believe, and I thought that when I went in that Tuesday, when we filed for it, remarkably, it managed to stay under the radar. You know, these filings are not private. You can't make them private in California. And remarkably, it had flown under the radar. No one picked up on the fact that I had filed, and as limited as it sounds now, I just wanted as much privacy as we could have. You know,
Okay.
one day at a time, I wanted as much privacy as we could possibly get.
No one cared, yeah.
And the filing had been missed by TMZ and, you know, these paparazzi outlets and stuff. But between the communications between our counsel, I realized that Johnny was going to file in
Objection,
retaliation.
hearsay.
All right, I'll sustain the objection.
Uh-huh. She gets cry? No, that's not until later.
So, without saying what the counsel said, what was your understanding and what was your concern?
Objection, hearsay.
I'll sustain the objection.
What are you doing?
All right,
what are you
well, let's
doing?
move on.
Talking
Let's-
shit.
Michelle, can you bring up Defendant's Exhibit 800?
How do you even
please?
have these questions if you know they're bullshit? Because you know she's reading them off a list.
Move the admission of Defendant's Exhibit 800.
Oh, here we go.
Any
Here we go. Let's see
No
it.
objection, Your Honor.
All right, 800 in evidence and publish.
All right, let's go. I'm ready.
Amber, can you describe for the jury what this picture is?
It's a picture of my face while I'm sitting at the courthouse.
And were you wearing any makeup?
I was wearing nothing, not a stitch of makeup.
Michelle, can you bring up 801, please?
What happened to her eye?
Move the admission of 801.
Like it's just like what happened? Like because more of the damage was in her eye. Like how's the eye healed and like
Amber,
the
if
face
you can
isn't?
Tell the jury what this is.
Oh, maybe it is a little bit. I don't know. It's hard to say.
That's me while I was obtaining my restraining order.
Okay.
It's me in the courthouse.
Okay.
Botox.
And what, if anything,
I don't
did
know.
you do while you
Wouldn't that
were
be
at
on
the
both
courthouse?
sides?
Did you testify?
Oh, I provided testimony and sat there and cried.
And
Okay.
Did you obtain a domestic violence restraining order? Temporary
I
restraining
did.
Jen nose job, maybe.
The court granted me a restraining order at that time.
When you left the courthouse, what did you experience?
I walked into the courthouse. It was quiet. First thing in the morning. No one knew about my divorce, so I thought it was going to stay that way. And I walked out to a sea of paparazzi and cameras,
Yeah.
photographers. It was, to that point, at that point in my life, had never seen so many photographers, and they just surrounded me as I walked out of that courthouse.
That'd be
and
crazy.
Screamed at me, screamed horrible things at me.
I feel like they should make it like on the real. I think they should make that like illegal, like paparazzi shit like that.
Makeup, and then we'll.
How's that not
Okay,
harassment?
okay, great.
Yeah, that'll be
All right,
a
thank
good
you.
breaking point after the makeup. You
Yes.
said that you didn't testify. You
It's like that's
didn't wear any
some
makeup
weird
that
shit.
day. We've heard all kinds of things about makeup in this case. Could you please tell the jury what your regular routine was with respect to makeup?
Yes, I get
Wouldn't
up
they have-
and wash my face like most of us, and I put on right away a moisturizer that has tinted foundation in it, and then I put another foundation on because it has sunblock in it. I have a skin condition that my skin reacts to the sun in a bad way, so I have to wear sunscreen or sunblock every day. Anyway, so I put on both of those. I put on concealer. And I do that before I leave my bathroom in the morning. That's
So
obviously
where are
they're
all
not
the
bruised.
pictures of her
Now,
with this on her
when
face?
you had bruises or cuts
For
of
all
any
the
nature,
pictures.
what would you do about those? Would you try to cover them up? Would you try to just leave them showing? What would you do?
Objection, Your Honor, leading.
Overruled on that.
Thank
Go
you.
ahead.
Well, I'm typically photographed in LA when I leave the house.
Okay.
Paparazzi type of photograph. So I'm somewhat aware of that anyway. And
Preemptively explain why there's no
woman
pictures?
wants to walk
Yeah.
with the bruise on her face. So if I do have a bruise on my face or someplace visible, the main thing, you
Yeah.
have to ice right away to reduce swelling because no amount of makeup can fix swelling, but it's very manageable if you ice it really soon. Arnica is also a great remedy, arnica cream.
I don't
And then if you
understand
want to cover
this.
up a bruise, you obviously put foundation first, concealer, and then on top of that, I used a bruise kit. Not a bruise kit, it's a theater makeup kit, a color correction kit, but I called it my bruise kit.
And let me, I use this, I think, in opening statement, and it's defendant's exhibit.
I don't
You could-
understand this.
Microphone, please.
Oh.
We can't hear you. There you go.
May I approach the witness to?
Well, that's what you just showed counsel.
Okay, so like, how is it that like she had that picture taken at the courthouse and then right afterwards they took all these
this
pictures?
is what I was talking about as a color correction kit. This is not obviously the exact one I used to carry, but I used to carry it with me
I'm
all the
so
time.
confused.
Sometimes this pink is sometimes a little bit more purple of a hue, and sometimes the kits are 3 colors. You can get them in 3 or 4 colors. Sometimes they have even more. But the
Yeah.
idea is that you want to counteract whatever color you're working with on the bruise. So the first day of bruising, the immediate is red. Red is what shows
That's
up right
true.
away. So you want to go with the opposite on the color wheel by dabbing on a bit of the green or something to counteract the red. After a day or two, you get more purple in a bruise.
Yeah.
So you'd obviously have to go with more of the red tones, the orange tones here. Day 2 for me was always the trickiest because.
What if you wanted to put on a bruise?
Day 2 I feel like, day 1 and day 2 are hardest for me because that's when you get the most blues and purples and you have to deal with the sensitivity. Bruises don't like to be touched. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
So that's the trickiest part. But after a few days, that becomes more of that blue becomes more of a brown, yellowish browns, like 5-7 days in, becomes more of a yellow green, and then fades into a brown, and then into your skin. And whatever color you're working with in the bruise, you want to go opposite color on the color wheel.
That would make sense.
The opposite. In the first couple of days when you have more of the typical bruise color, the blues
Yeah.
and the purples, you want to go more of the orange on the color wheel as opposed to the greens that you start with.
Absolutely.
And then it progresses from there. I also noticed that bruising on your face tends to heal a lot faster than, at least for me, it was faster healing than bruises on my body.
It was the
or at least
opposite
it
for
seemed
me.
like that to me. And
Yeah, that was the
pretty
opposite.
much unrecognizable after a day or two, depending on how much you ice it. Lips are the hardest because they crack and bleed, of course. But it's easy to hide with lipstick if you're a woman, or if you wear a lipstick.
What a coincidence. Yes, it is.
We heard some testimony of people in the week of May 21st to 27th saying that you didn't wear a stitch of makeup. Oh, was that true?
Objection, hearsay.
Overrule.
They just don't know what they're talking about. I always wear makeup.
You always wear makeup?
I mean, it's part of my bathroom routine in the morning. Wash my face. I put on moisturizer. My moisturizer has tinted foundation in it, and I'm certainly not going to walk around LA with bruises on my face.
Okay. I think this
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and take our lunch recess at this
Oh,
time.
boy.
Again, do
Oh,
not do
boy.
any
All
outside
right.
research.
All
Do
right.
not
All
discuss
right.
the case
Oh,
with
my
anybody.
God. I'm
And we'll see you in
ready.
an hour, okay?
Oh, I'm
Thank
ready.
you.
I'm ready. I'm ready. All right. Okay.
Court is
Thank
still in
God. I've
session,
been
so
waiting on
please be
this.
quiet in
I've
the
been waiting
gallery.
on this.
Thank you.
Thank God. Okay. Holy shit! Like, she's a pop off. We about to go in here. We about to go really in. You know what we're talking about? Like, well, she goes to court with bruises. Like, I'm about to maul, man. I'm about to maul like really hard. Talk about the thing is, like, all right.
And again, Ms. Hurd, since you're still under oath and testifying, you cannot discuss this case to include with your attorneys, okay? In your testimony. All right. Let's come back then at 1:40. Okay? All right, thank you. 1:40.
Sounds good. Okay.